Jake, take us through it, Jake.
First of all, can I make a disclosure that I think the last time we involved our significant others into the podcast,
Your SOs.
I got some repercussions from it because somebody was spilling the beans.
Whoa.
So I don't know if somebody's watching on Facebook right now. You know who you are. Your boyfriend's laughing in the corner over there. I asked that we keep things quiet unless my significant other just wants to hear the truth. So
are we talking about back in the event day where she had an event for work and why didn't you just take a poop? I told you to go take a poop.
You let the cat out of the bag anyways. She heard it all, so she knew if I was like, I gotta go take a dump. She knows where I'm going.
This is sacred. This is sacred. No sharing from significant others. All right, Jake, take us through it, baby.
Okay. First of all, this is exactly what I took 2 public speaking courses in college for this moment, right? This
Jake,
is on a
Jake. Hold
on.
You're just cracking a lot.
Before you start this, we need the internet to pick it up because people are here to take
I don't know
notes.
if it's your headphone cord.
I think it's the headphone sometimes because I think does that sound all
So
right?
stop moving.
So much now.
Yeah, so stop moving.
People are. This is important, man. This is important. All right, take us through it.
Let's move along to why we need our Saturdays. The case against fall weddings and events, brought to you by the boys at Play the Fight Song. We're going to all take credit for this, not just me. So let's move it forward. Point number 1, why you shouldn't have a fall wedding in general. There are numerous reasons. I had to keep it at about 6. I could have probably made 1,000. Number 1.
You actually did 5, Jake. That last point is mine. Sorry, I added. I'll go at the end.
I'll pitch it to you. Yeah, absolutely. There's always a chance it could be cold. Okay. You don't want to be standing outside watching somebody say their stupid vows. No, I want to be standing outside in football weather with 10 fireball shooters in me, screaming on my defense to get a stop on 3rd down. That's point number 1. We don't need to be out there in the middle of the wedding. Sorry. Number 2, not everybody's going to be paying attention. Sorry, Karen. We love you. I love you as a second cousin. I'm glad to be here. If it was another day but the fall, but the fact of the matter is I'm probably going to be watching the game on my phone, and so will everybody else. Texas and Oklahoma. Are you kidding me? I would have never left my screen. I would have. I'm sorry, Rick.
There was a guy sitting next to me who I had it up on my phone. I looked over at him and he had it up too. I was like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Little moment right there.
See, now he doesn't remember your best man speech, Rick, because Reese was watching the game on his phone. This is what happens. This is exactly what happens. Do your gifts suck? It's probably because your friends are mad at you. So don't be mad that you didn't receive as much gifts or as much money as probably people would be maybe in spring. Tax season's coming around. People are getting their refunds, feeling generous. Summertime, everybody's nice and happy because it's the summertime in the Midwest. I'm feeling generous. No, you're keeping them from another fall Saturday. Fuck you. You're getting $10. Number 4,
something nice.
This is for the bride itself. Again, honey, it's your day. We love you. But your groom is probably wondering what the hell is going on in the middle of the 3rd quarter because we're only a game back from the Big 12 standings, and we really got to beat the shit out of Kansas today, or we're going to be screwed for the rest of the season. So you might think that he's looking at you thinking, we can't wait to spend the rest of our lives together. No, honey, he needs to know if they got a 3rd down stop. That's exactly what's going on in his head. I'm sorry. You want it to be your day? Let's do it in June when nobody cares about baseball. Sorry, fellas. Last but not least, from my point, I think the rustic theme's a little outdated. I'm sorry. Everybody wants to go take these fancy pictures next to these old cars in their neutral brown colored suits. I'm over it. It's been overdone. I don't need to see it again. Let's wait another 10 years until we bring that back. I want to throw number 6 to you, Camden. What do we got?
Yeah, I had to really sit down on a thing that me and my significant other do all the time. Also a woman, shout out her. I try and make her understand when it comes to sports and why I get so mad when Nebraska loses, which is quite often in my time frame. I try and put her shoes on, put her in my shoes. Like, let's say, and this goes for most of the women out there, let's say Target was only open in the fall on Saturday from 11 to 7, but you have a wedding scheduled from 2 p.m. till 12 p.m. and you can't go beforehand because you got to get ready to go. You got to be there for pictures. You got to pick out a gift, but it can't be from Target that's barely open because you can't spend time there. You take too much time doing it. imagine that. Would you really want to miss a Target day where if it was only open for one day, you couldn't shop online either because it was disrespectful. If you're at the wedding and you're looking at your phone the whole time, it's disrespectful, just like watching a game. You really wouldn't stand up for fall weddings if that was only open one day. And that can go for any woman out there that enjoys Target. But whatever you enjoy, imagine if it was only available for 12 weeks on a specific day your team was playing. I mean, it's just, it doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense. Before we go to slide 2, Jake, are we opening up for Reese and JP to add in on this? What do you think?
I just want to say amen, brother. That's a great point. We're going to capitalize off that in the next slide. Am I good on like my mic so far? We good?
You sound
You-
fantastic.
You've been good. Yep.
All right.
killing
Yeah,
it.
you guys,
Write these down.
you guys can chime in.
Get a
Reese,
notebook out, kids.
I don't. Okay, Reese, are you writing this stuff down? Because I don't want to bring your
It's all
personal
up here.
life. I
It's
don't
all
want to
up
bring your
here. I
personal
knew
life
this.
into
I
this.
knew
But
this.
these are new notes. These are new notes you need to
mean,
incorporate.
This argument's coming too.
Standard.
as of the last year, I was understanding at least 4 of these. The wondering why your gifts suck. That's a good one. You know, if you get a good gift, it's probably because your girlfriend or a girl bought you that gift because they're not upset. So that's the point.
This
I will
actually
say-
happened. This actually happened. We were gonna JP Reese and I were going to split a $5 gift card.
Yeah, we
to a
were.
wedding in the fall because we had just booked a trip to, we had
Slip
just
it
got
in
back
everybody's
from a fall
pocket.
trip.
Buy the wife something nice.
Yeah,
I-
slip it in.
I was going to say too, side note, Parks, I think I'm very optimistic about you and Tori's chances. I've just thought she's lived through the worst of Nebraska. So she's lived through your worst days. I think it's only up from here.
Yeah.
Might
It
be.
took her about
Knock on
3
wood.
years to learn. I need my 30 minutes of just complete silence. I'll leave. You don't talk to me. And then after that, like if the highlights come on, turn the channel, something like that. But you really got to, these are learned traits and she's done great. And I don't want her to sound like a dog, but she's very
Proud
good.
of you, Tori.
Very appreciated. Yeah.
She gets whatever she wants to eat that night if she gives me that 30 minutes.
You know, I have, that's one thing I've really improved on
Get
this
rid-
year is not letting the losses like affect other people. Just don't bring up the game to me, and usually
Man
I
up.
can think about something else. If you don't talk about just don't bring it up. If you don't,
Well, that might
ask
have
me,
to be a presentation too on how to deal with
I
loss.
have
I am
I have
there.
got to get better at that.
Yep.
Stand up.
One of the best.
Hand
One of the best.
I've heard Jordan needs a lot of work at that one.
Dude, one of the
All
best
right.
moments of 13-23 is when they get beat by Penn State and JP and Caspi just crumble on the couch. Just
Yeah, you kind of have to do that. If your team loses an important game, like especially when it's a night game like that, you wait all day for it, they shit the bed, then it's just like you built up so much hype and then they completely ruin the night through and through. Jake, take us through slide 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So, talking about why you shouldn't have a fall wedding. So, if you decide to go through it, that's on you. But here's why I don't have to go to your fall wedding. Again, there could be 100 reasons. I'm just giving you 4 basic ones. Number 1, Parks, you came up with this one. I got to give credit to you. Listen, honey, sweetie, I probably haven't known you for as long as I've known the Cyclones. It's just
Absolutely not.
It's straight fact. Listen, you weren't with me during the Gene Chizik era. You didn't go through those hard times with me. I'm sorry. We just don't have that bondage together. I just don't care.
I haven't been rooting for you for half a century.
Yeah.
Only the Cyclones. All right, go ahead.
You mentioned this before. We get 12 weekends out of the year. And while I agree, yes, it is very, very criminal if you are hosting a wedding during a home game. You only get 6 of those a year. 6 Saturdays to be in a stadium, to hang out with your friends, whatever you want to do. 6 out of 52. You do the math. That's not very much. If you're choosing it,
Great math,
one of
great
those,
math.
if you're choosing one of those 6, jail time, absolute jail time for you. That's the most inconsiderate thing I've ever heard. We're going to get to this later, but guess what? The schedule comes out in January. When you're planning a year ahead, you know when that weekend's coming out. Number 3, this is my passion. This kind of bounces off of your thing, Parks, you talked about before with the Target comp. That was perfect. I've never heard that before. But what if I planned a wedding on the night of the Bachelor finale or the night of your pickleball championship? You probably won't want to be there, will you? I guess.
Friends
Guess
do
what?
have that pickleball's their passion.
That's just that new thing that everybody's getting
Some
into.
nerd.
It's just really annoying.
I was gonna say, like, some people are bookworms, some people love
Yeah,
Legos, some people
whatever
love
it may
movies,
be.
some people love Star Wars, some people love crocheting. Like, everybody's got a passion.
Listen,
just
if
happy
you're
to
if
be
you're
a
with the girl that loves Legos, don't worry about the fall weddings. Just leave
I'm
anyway.
just saying, dudes who get Legos don't catch a lot of flack, but we do.
If imagine this, Parks. Imagine the Bachelor finale being Saturday night, the night of a wedding. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna try and record it and just hope you don't hear? Oh, look, so and so won the Bachelor. You're gonna hear these things. You're gonna want to watch it. Your mind's gonna be on it. Oh, I can wait till Monday. You're gonna know who won by then. It's
Yeah,
not gonna be as far.
It's gonna be all over. It's gonna be all over the place.
You are
Social
talking to
media,
a guy
every
who does
platform.
watch The Bachelor, though.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got to stop that.
Is actually wait, no, I don't. That finale
to
was
me?
2 days ago. That finale was 2 days ago. This is crazy. You brought this up. That finale was 2 days ago. We were sitting on the couch about to start it. We started watching it an hour after it was airing, but we didn't look at Twitter, Facebook, nothing because we knew people would be talking about it. In comes the text from my sister about who
Boom!
wins.
Not the family text. It's always the family text.
I called her. I said, "What the fuck's the matter with you? Did you just text me the winner?" And she's like, "I thought you were watching it live. Who watches it live? I want to sit through the commercials." No. But that actually happened. Great point, Jake.
Last but not least, statistically in America, we already know what your odds of making it are. And not to scare you fellas, but you got a quarters flip chance
Scare yourself.
of keeping that marriage going throughout your entire life. Hope, love, and prosper. I hope it works out for you. I'm praying for you guys. You guys are my best friends. I'm pulling for you. But statistically, this will not be your last wedding. So
This
if you're
is
inviting
rough.
me to your second
I did
wedding,
not see this one on the
I
original
definitely-
slideshow.
I don't have to go. If you're inviting me on a fall Saturday to your second wedding, that's jail time.
I think
Absolute
it's
jail
safe
time.
to say. I think it's safe to say I'll catch the next one, man. I mean, the odds are in your favor. I'll catch the next one.
That's
You must
true.
be jumping into this one, huh?
It's actually what I told my sister. Granted, Nebraska game got moved to Friday, so she dodged the bullet. But I told her, I was like, I'll catch the next one.
Hey, the stats back themselves up. So that's exactly why I don't have to go to your fall wedding. Let's move on to the next one. We might be going a little overtime here, but that's all right. We like hanging out. I
Hit
think
it.
everybody taking good notes. Okay. Let's talk about the epidemic of shaming fall Saturday. So fellas, you skip out on this wedding. Can you imagine the peer pressure that's going to come with it? That is what us men at this age are dealing with every single fall. It's absolutely brutal. Guess what? Football doesn't start to 11 or later. And this is going beyond fall weddings now. Honey, if you want to do something in the morning, guess what? I'm sure the farmer's market's open from 8 to 9. I'm sure you can make me go run an errand from 9 to 10. But football starts at 11. If the Cyclones have a 2:30 kickoff, maybe you might have a little bit of an extra window. It depends if Ohio State and Michigan's kicking off at 11, then you're screwed. But if it's a lighter window at 11, I'll let you slide if the Cyclones are playing at 2:30 or 7 o'clock. So please plan ahead of time. Everybody plans their schedule a week in advance. Let's be considerate of others. Again, this is our passion. We don't just start a damn podcast and try to keep this going for 3+ years when 2 people are watching our show and just expect to, when the fall comes around, I guess I'll just half-ass it. No, fellas, we don't record in June to half-ass the fall. So since when is it okay to shame a man who's got a hobby, a passion that I breathe for? So please, 12 weeks. I get 12 weeks. I get 6 home games where I get to drink Miller Lights Unlimited. Leave me alone. And guess what? I'll quote Josh Pate on this one, and this one just rung to me. They do not own the moral high ground on you when they shame you. This is bullshit. Just because they don't have a passion in football, everybody's got a passion. Don't let them shame you just because this is your one passion. And guys, again, Reese, be taking notes here. She signed up for this one. Fellas, Parks, you're going on year 8 with your significant other, JP. I think you're going on. I don't know. You guys been going for a while.
Enough.
There you
I feel
go.
like I have been as well. If she's just finding out in like year 3, year 4 that you've got this crazy passion for football, it's time to look ourselves in the mirror. It's time to look back on you that you've been a casual because you guys have dealt with consecutive 3-win seasons or four straight years of 3-win seasons. And now that you get this 6-win season, oh, I didn't know you had such a passion for this. That is on you for being a half-ass casual fan.
And you
She
have
should
to go
know-
now. You don't
she
get
should- yeah.
whoever that is, you got to go to everything. You have no ground to stand on. You have to.
If she's just realizing, shit, I, I love Eastern Michigan football, but she doesn't know this. I just want to.
The wall.
What happens when they win games and I want to start going again? Buddy, that's on you. You should have been going when there were 12 people in the stands. This is what we do it for. You call yourself a fan, you go to the damn game. Last but not least, this is kind of selective depending on what you guys. I know that I think you both have brought your girlfriends to games. I have as well.
Multiple.
Very
Well,
few.
yeah.
It's my least favorite thing.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
I
I
feel
don't
like
think
I've
he
been to,
has
like,
much.
All right.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
All right.
We've been to
No,
quite a
She
bit.
knows it though. She knows I'm the worst person to be around. Like if they lose the whole ride home, I don't want to talk. I don't want
Funny story. You like bring that up. We've been to a couple, like 4 or 5. The last 2
You
Iowa
guys went
State
to
games.
a Iowa State game. That's terrible.
A
To bring her
couple.
to. Done that once.
We're in Kinnick, right? And we're doing this whole thing and we're watching the game. And in the middle of it, it's starting to get a little it's getting frisky because this is like the game Iowa State lost or beat
Yeah.
Iowa, right? And so they're starting to play worse and worse. Then Iowa fumbles on the goal line. And I turn around, I'm like, who the hell is yelling? And I look up and she's standing and screaming at Potabom for fumbling on the goal line. I'm like, very nice. All right. I don't have to worry about being the crazy one. Yeah.
You
It's
fucking
great.
idiot.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
that's what we live for.
I just don't want to track them. I don't want to especially this is different for you guys. Actually, it's a great thing to bring up because in Nebraska, there's no booze in the football stadium. You can't drink. You can't buy alcohol. It's probably going to change soon. But like when you go to tailgates, let's say you get popped, that entire 2 or 3 hours spent in the stadium is your come down of not drinking alcohol. So
Parks,
it
we
sets
gotta-
in
we gotta-
headache sets
we
in
gotta-
all these things. And now it's like, all right.
We got to show you how to put a fireball shooter in your underwear.
No, I do.
Crazy.
The amount of people I've
Crazy.
watched be kicked out, like they watch like a hawk in Memorial Stadium. I don't know why, but I've seen hundreds of kids get kicked out each game for trying to pull out a
Significant other
shooter.
can
like
just
that.
They're
sneak 'em
they're
under the
more
judge,
so
you know?
they're looking at the student section. We're adults now.
Yeah.
They expect better from us. That's when we can do it.
There's
So
a lady near our season ticket seats that is the fireball person every time Iowa scores. Granted, hasn't been a lot
Hell
the
yeah.
last couple years, but every time Iowa scores, she passes out 8. So she's got
mean
a
a
shit
lot.
ton. Don't know where she hides them, but she has them.
I'll tell you
All
this:
right.
the first time I brought her to a
She
game,
gets to
Jake,
know 'em.
45-minute drive home to Omaha, she gets a migraine because it was too loud in the stadium. Well, if you don't like loudness, it probably, and this isn't a shot at her, she just gets migraines if she's loud, but it's probably not the place for you. I'm not going to lie. That's the entire purpose of being there. And it was a night game. Like, it's probably not going to be great. So probably stay away from that one.
Okay, and so my last point is I'll go into a story. Like I said, this one's selective. If she doesn't want to go to games with you, I'm not talking all of them, but if like you're like me or Parks, if you go to 5 games a year and she doesn't want to join you, at least for maybe the September kickoff when it's nice outside, might be a time for a change. But that's just my own personal opinion. First one I brought to Kaylin was the Iowa State game in 2021. Probably the
What an
biggest
awful
game.
choice.
Yep.
What an
Yep.
awful choice.
I manned up. After Purdy threw his 9th interception that day. I stood up, said, "We're going." I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I just said, "We're going." She's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes, this is your first time. I don't want to ruin this experience for you. It's best if we just leave the stadium." So that's what we did. And she's wanted to come back since. So just handle
You're
it.
better than me.
Handle it
You're better than me.
Handle
You're
it
better than me.
selectively if you're going to do
Although
that.
I'd be careful if Louisiana's in town too. Like I'd like pick
Hey,
like I
No,
don't know, like not even Ohio. Like I'm talking
Brought her to-
like,
hey,
you need
brought
to
her to
bring
UNI
like
last
San
year.
Diego. There you
brought
go.
her to
Yeah.
you and I.
Maybe
Should have brought her to
having-
Georgia. Never mind.
Maybe having her around's a nice calming influence on you too, Schaefer. You never know,
It makes
Keep
me
it
behave
from an
better.
outburst.
It absolutely makes me behave better. I will say that, Reese. I'm on my best behavior. We'll see how long that lasts. Let's move on to the last slide. This is going a little long, but I hope we're all enjoying this. Here are the only exceptions for skipping fall Saturdays. And guys, it depends. It depends here. Thank you, Parks, for pulling
Oh,
that up.
man.
I could not find a
Man.
picture of watching the game during that wedding.
You're welcome.
First one, funeral. But this one depends. Like, do you really have to go that bad? If it's
That's tough.
I think Sundays are for death. Sundays are wake days.
no, no.
Saturdays, yeah, no, I think that's true, isn't it? I think that's true. Saturdays are wake days, Sundays are funerals.
Well,
I think that
which
sounds right.
one's more important, the funeral? Like, are they going to be playing the Red River rivalry like behind the coffin? I mean, what are we talking about?
I said it depends, it depends what kind of it depends. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I didn't
I'm gonna
realize it was
let you
getting
guys
this
do the
crude. I should have
justice.
Hey,
proofread these slides a little tighter.
between the four of us. If whenever we die, okay, none of our funerals are on a college football Saturday. Deal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Put it in your will. Put it in your will. All right. Number 2, vacations in November. I'm going to be wary on this. Again, probably don't go during a home game. Vacations plan ahead of time. So this is something you can plan for. I'm just saying sometimes the Bahamas sounds better than Laramie, Wyoming in November. Or, there's a couple of other schools out in the MAC. I'm sorry. The Bahamas sounds better than Akron. It really does. So again, it depends. Does the Bahamas sound better than Athens, Georgia in November against Tennessee? Absolutely fucking not. But this is why I say it depends. Depends what your situation is. Number 3, a work event. Unless you want to get fired, you probably want to go, which honestly, your job, Texas is coming to town, your job, you tell me which is more important. You tell me which is more important.
I've actually had this happen very recently. I was on a work trip last year, Nebraska, Maryland. Then they announced the games on Peacock. I had to go to a bar that was going to play it. I had to look it up. It was a Nebraska bar in Phoenix. Terrible experience, work travel. If it happens again, I
Hey.
might consider not going.
Yeah. Hey, Parks, I'm proud of you. It takes a big man to choose his job over his passion,
It
and now
does.
look at that.
It
You
does.
still have your job today because of that decision. I'm proud
Probably.
of you there. We live until next year when that situation comes up again. And last but not least, an event your significant other gives you at least 3 months in advance. No minimums. 3 months in advance. I believe that work event that I had to attend last year, that was planned farther ahead of time. I said, all right, fine. Except
Can
for
I make a
weddings.
stipulation
as
on
you
this
know, it
as
was
well?
planned.
Yeah, can I make a stipulation? I feel we're all men here, and most of the people watching are men. I think it's like 88% of our audience is men of all time.
Shout out, guys.
We need like 50 reminders as well. So 3 months ahead, and then sprinkle in the reminders. Sprinkle in the reminders because I'm not going to
Just
remember.
keep reminding.
We're only human.
Guess what?
Yep.
Guess what we're going to be thinking about? God,
Here's your morning
cannot
coffee. By the
wait.
way, we got that event in 3 months.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Got it.
Thank you.
Hey,
'Cause
you want to go get a Shamrock Shake tonight? We're almost out. By the way, we have the event in 3 months. See how that works?
Yep, just work it in. Just
top
work
of
it
it.
in.
It's that
'Cause
easy.
I didn't punch it in my calendar. I don't keep a planner, honey.
Because here's the problem. 3 weeks away, you're like, God, we could really make a shot at the conference title here. Fuck, 3 weeks. I got to be there for that Michigan game. Hey, remember, we got that. All right. You gave me the advance. I respect that. I'm going to have to make that sacrifice again, except for weddings. Like if I don't care if that's a year in advance. These schedules come out in January. And even then, you know what you're doing when you plan a wedding in September. You know you're taking that risk. You know what you got yourself into. Last but not least, we didn't put this on the slide, but shout out to Walter. A nice golf trip with the boys. That's pretty damn good too, because you guys can go on your golf trip. You get back to the house by 11. We're slamming beers, watching college football all day with the boys. So golf trip in the fall. I do enjoy a good golf day.
It's a good one.
Also, good one, Walter. I will definitely say,
Shout out,
that
Walt.
passes. But best believe your son-in-law is not doing it in September. All right. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk.
That was good. Very good. W's in the chat. Clap it up in the chat. That was unbelievable. Great presentation. I can't think of a single base that you missed, JP. Did you take anything away from it, or did you live that life anyway?
I knew. I've known
Yeah.
this. I'm about this. I've done this. This is
I just
in my brain since I was born.